Yeah. Um, we've just had insight into what Reform UK's foreign policy for this sceptred isle would be like. Here's a post on X by Dick Tice.
Brilliant. US ambassador to Israel tells Macron what he should do, and then it adds Huckabee.
I think we need to get on to what Dick Tice supports.
When I heard that the French were trying to spearhead this effort to get a meeting together at the United Nations, the purpose of which supposedly is to recognize a Palestinian state. First of all, it's incredibly inappropriate in the midst of a war that Israel is dealing with to go out and present something that I think increasingly Israelis are steadfast against. October 7th changed a lot of things. If France is really so determined to see a Palestinian state, I've got a suggestion for them. Carve out a piece of the French Riviera and create a Palestinian state. They're welcome to do that, but they're not welcome to impose that kind of pressure on a sovereign nation. And I find it revolting that they think that they have the right to do such a thing. I hope they'll reconsider. But the United States will not participate, simply will not be a part of such a ruse.
Right. Now, basically, a Palestinian state on the French Riviera. Okay, so this is how strongly Mike Huckabee believes in the displacement of Palestinians from their ancestral homeland of Palestine. Is he speaking on behalf of the Israeli government or just the American government? This seems, the support of the displacement of human beings, making them into refugees or forcing them to live somewhere else. Well, I think the Geneva Convention has something to say about that for a start. This is against international law. So basically, representing the USA as the ambassador for the rogue state of Israel, Mike Huckabee has said something that no decent person with a shred of humanity still intact could support, surely. President Macron is right. It's very difficult to say because, being English, I would automatically think the idea was a bad idea because it's French. But I don't think we're left with much alternative in the light of this.
71 בעד, 13 נגד. אני קובע כי ההצעה התקבלה. חברות וחברי הכנסת, הכנסת קיבלה, אני מבקש עוד רגע, הכנסת קיבלה בשעה טובה כעת הצהרה היסטורית התומכת בהחלת ריבונות ישראלית על חבלי המולדת יהודה ושומרון. זוהי זכות גדולה להיות יושב ראש הכנסת שאומרת בקול ברור וברוב מוצק, זו ארצנו, זה ביתנו. ארץ ישראל שייכת לעם ישראל. ב-1967 הכיבוש לא התחיל, הוא הסתיים, וחבלי המולדת שלנו שלא הושבו לבעליהם החוקיים. חבר הכנסת כסיף, אם תפריע אני אוציא אותך. אנחנו הילידים המקוריים הראשונים בחלקת הארץ הזו. יהודים לא יכולים להיות הכובש בחבל ארץ שבמשך 3,000 שנה נקרא יהודה. אלה אמיתות ששום נרטיב שקרי לא יוכל לשנות. זוהי האמת ההיסטורית, זוהי האמת העכשווית, זוהי האמת הפרלמנטרית, וזוהי גם הדרך האחת והיחידה להשיג שלום אמיתי מתוך עוצמה ולגדוע את תקוות שווא המפעמות בליבותיהם של אויבינו, שאנו נעלם, נגורש או ניסוג ממולדתנו. אנחנו כאן כדי להישאר. הכנסת אמרה זאת ברוב גדול.
Israeli Knesset voted to annex the West Bank, saying it's been their land for 3,000 years. If it has been their land for 3,000 years, definitely. Why in Israel is it illegal to take a DNA test to find out your ancestry? Just thought I'd put that. But do we want a foreign policy where we kowtow to Israel and support the likes of this? I've just read in Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 8. As when a bird flies down from its nest, so is a man enslaved whenever he becomes a fugitive from his own place. Basically, allowing this to happen, what is happening to Palestinians, by doing this, we are supporting slavery. Now, America didn't ban slavery properly. There is the exception in there, except as punishment for a felony or was it a crime? I can't remember, but basically, slavery hasn't been completely abolished there. It has been completely abolished here, and we cannot support slavery. This is absolutely big. Now, the question is, do we have a subjugated foreign policy where either we kowtow to America or somebody or Israel or wherever, or do we have, where like America kowtows to Israel? Do we have a foreign policy like that? Or do we act like a sovereign state and have our own foreign policy like France has under Macron? As a sovereign state, we should have our own foreign policy and not kowtow to everybody else. It's one of the things Brexit was about, after all. For decades, the British government, at least the present government, isn't talking about an ethical foreign policy while doing nasty things like the last government that was this bad did. But for decades, we have said that we support a two-state solution. While this has been going on, Netanyahu has been building more and more illegal settlements in the West Bank to create facts on the ground to make a two-state solution impossible. And basically, the response from us has been that we are against the building of settlements. We support a two-state solution, and then that's it. The obvious plan to remove Palestinians from Gaza and the latest vote in the Knesset saying that they would formally annex the West Bank means that we can't just say we believe in a two-state solution, we don't like what you've voted for, etc. The only thing we are left to do is formally recognize a Palestinian state. That is where we are at. And if they just carry on saying, like saying that we support a two-state solution, and well, we don't like that. Without any form of action showing how much we are against it, we look ridiculous, we look weak, we look like a laughing stock. So basically, we have no alternative at this time but to recognize a Palestinian state. Also, as part of the recognition of the Palestinian state, we should put sanctions on Israel. Because enough is enough. Too much of this, we support a Palestinian state, isn't this terrible, with no action. We need to show intent. Netanyahu has certainly let us know his intentions. I mean, I was writing articles in, was it 2012, as early, at least 2014. 2012, I was writing articles saying that Israel under Netanyahu is hell-bent on conquest, and sometimes I really hate being right, but there you have it. And we need to recognise a Palestinian state. Also, Mike Huckabee claiming that the majority of Israelis are against the two-state solution, etc., as if all Israelis are supporting this. Tends not to be shown on our media, and I'll get the truth out. Tel Aviv. Let's have a look what people in Tel Aviv think.
We are marching now in Tel Aviv, holding bags of flour and the pictures of these children that have been starved to death by our government and our army. We demand to stop the starvation in Gaza. We demand to stop the annihilation of Gaza. We demand to stop the daily killing of children and innocent people in Gaza. This cannot go on. We are Israelis, and this does not serve us. This only serves the Messianic people that lead us to our demise, because if all the Gazans will be annihilated, we will be annihilated. We cannot agree with starvation. We cannot agree with death and killing. We must do something. So we call from here to people to just refuse to enter Gaza, refuse to serve this death and annihilation. This is the only possible answer right now.
So, this shows how ridiculous Huckabee is, how wrong Richard Tice is, when a government clearly, like under Netanyahu, isn't representing the people. Yeah, okay, ours isn't doing a very good job at that, but it's not, is it? But you know what I'm saying. We need to recognise a Palestinian state, put on sanctions, it's not just the Palestinians who need to be set free. It's the Israelis also need to be set free from the tyranny of the psychotic maniac Netanyahu and the ideologically deranged people around him. Their core voters in the illegal settlements in the West Bank, they can all piss off back to America. They weren't fleeing anything, were they? So, that's all I've got to say. But we can't support a foreign policy like what Dick Tice is offering, can we?